Hi, welcome back to my channel. We have an amazing math question to solve. In this exponential question, we are asked to find the value of x. So looking at the denominator, you can see that both of them are surds, right? And you cannot go further except to rationalize the denominator. So the first thing will be to rationalize. So let's rationalize. To rationalize, we multiply the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of the denominator. Now, the conjugate of this denominator is root 29 plus 1. All right. So we have 14 over root 29 minus 1 multiplied by um, root 29 plus 1 over root 29 plus 1. Now what we have is 14 multiplied by root 29 plus 1 divided by root 29 minus 1 multiplied by root 29 plus 1. So if we move further, we will have 14 bracket root 29 plus 1 divided by, now recall that a squared minus b squared is equal to a minus b multiplied by a plus b. All right. So having said that, that simply means that this will be root 29 squared minus 1 squared. We now have this to be equal to 14 bracket root 29 plus 1 over root 29 squared. This we remove this, we have 29 minus 1. All right. So this is equal to 14 bracket root 29 plus 1 multiplied by divided by 28, sorry, and 14 will go into 28 two times. So it simply means that this 14 over root 29 minus 1 is the same thing as root 29 plus 1 divided by 2. Okay, so we're going to keep that aside. We keep that aside and go ahead to rationalize the second this one. If this is the first time you are seeing this lovely channel, and if you think that you are actually gaining from here, please subscribe to our channel and turn on your notification bell so that you don't miss our amazing videos. We upload our videos as often as possible. Tune in at your convenience to check for our new uploads. Okay, now I'm going to write this here. So this is same thing as root 29 plus 1 divided by 2 raised to the power of x, right? Now let us rationalize this one. Let's rationalize this. So we have 343 divided by square root of 464 minus 1, okay, minus 11, minus 11. So we rationalize by multiplying by root 464 plus 11 over root 464 plus 11. So going further, we have this to be 343 brackets root 464 plus 11 divided by this multiplied by this root 464 minus 11 multiplied by root 464 plus 11. So moving forward, we will have Moving forward, we will have 343 bracket square root of 464 plus 11 divided by, now applying difference of two squares here as well, we are going to have root 464 squared minus 11 squared. So this will remove this. We will have 343 bracket square root of 464 plus 11 divided by 464 minus 11 squared is 121. So this will be equal to 343 bracket square root of 464 plus 11 divided by, this will also give us 343, right? So this and this we go, and we are left with root 464 plus 11. So therefore, we are now going to replace this with plus. This is root 464 plus 11 raised to the power of x is equal to 350. All right. Now, I want you to notice something. So I'm going to do something right now, and I want you to see how this particular action is going to make the whole of this question very easy to solve, okay? So let us take the cube root of root 29 plus 1 divided by 2. Let's take the cube root, okay? You're going to see what will happen. So this will be the same thing as square root of 29 plus 1, everything raised to the power of 3 divided by 2 to the power of 3. So moving forward, remember that a plus b to the power of 3 is equal to a to the power of 3 plus b to the power of 3 plus 3ab squared plus 3a squared b. All right, so that is a plus b to the power of 3. So in this case, our a is what? Root 29, and our b is 1. So if we should expand this in this form, we are going to have this to the power of 3. So this is equal to square root of 29 to the power of 3 plus 1 to the power of 3 plus 3 into our a is root 29 and our b is 1, so 1 squared multiplied by 1 squared, then plus 3 brackets. Our a is root 29, so root 29 squared, or multiplied by b, our b is 1. Okay, so if we expand this, we have square root of root 29 to the power of 3. If we should write this same thing as square root of 29 multiplied by square root of 29 multiplied by square root of 29, right? So you can see that this is root 29 squared, which root 29 multiplied by root 29 will give us 29. So this 2 is same thing as, or let's take this 2. Root 29 multiplied by root 29 is 29. So we have 29 root 29. So we are going to replace this with 29 root 29. So I will now write 29 root 29. So this is equal to 29 root 29 plus 1 plus 3 root 29, because 1 squared is still 1, then plus, this is 3. Let me clean this one so that you don't get confused. Okay, now plus 3 brackets. Now root 29 squared, this will remove this, so we have 29 multiplied by 1. Now this is equal to 29 root 29 plus 1 plus 3 root 29 plus 3 multiplied by 29. So we have 29 root 29 plus 3 root 29 will give us 32 root 29. 32 root 29 plus 1 plus, now 3 times 29, right? 3 times 9 is 27, right? 7 carry 2. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 2 is 8. So we have 8, 7. So, oh, remember that all these are divided by what? 2 to the power of 3. Everything we are analyzing is just this one. The numerator, root 29 plus 1 to the power of 3. That is what we are still analyzing. So, where we will have 32 root 29 plus 88. Okay? So, we are going to include this divided by 2 to the power of 3. So, that means we will now have so it simply means that what we have now is root 29 plus 1 to the power of 3 is equal to this. So we have that this, which is root 29 plus 1 divided by 2 all to the power of 3, okay, will be equal to this, which is this 32 root 29 plus 88 divided by 2 to the power of 3, which is 8. Okay, now looking at this closely, you will notice something, that 8 is a common factor for 32 and 88. So if we factorize 8 from here, we are going to have this to be 8 brackets 4 root 29 plus 11 divided by 8. Now this 8, we remove this 8. We have 4 root 29 plus 11, right? But we cannot stop here yet. So yet we cannot stop here. Now let's continue from here. So moving forward, we will have this to be equal to, if we decide to take this inside, we square it, right? So it will be square root of 29 multiplied by 4 squared is 16 plus 11. Now this is equal to square root of 29 times 16 will give you 464. 464, then plus 11. So you can see that square root of 29 plus 1 divided by 2 all to the power of 3 is equal to square root of 464 plus 11. Okay, so what are we going to do now? So anywhere we see this square root of 464 plus 11, we are going to replace it with this. Okay, so permit me to erase this one and replace it with this, since we are now in agreement that this is equal to this. So because of my board, that's what I'm going to do now. So I will replace this now with square root of 29 plus 1 divided by 2, okay, raised to the power of 3, then raised to the power of x. All right, now we can actually bring this in and take this out without changing the value, right? So permit me to bring this in and take this out. So we have x here and we have 3 here. We have not changed anything. So you can see from here that square root of 29 plus 1 divided by 2 is common between this and this. So we can say let square root of 29 plus 1 divided by 2 raised to the power of x be equal to y. All right, so we can call this y. If we do that, that simply means that That simply means that we will now change this equation to, this is what, y plus y to the power of 3 is equal to 350. Now, let's bring this to this side. We will have y plus y to the power of 3 minus 350 is equal to 0. So we have minus 350 is same thing as minus 343 minus 7, right? So we have y minus 343 plus y to the power of 3 minus 7 is equal to 0. Now, looking at this, we can see that this is the same thing as 7 to the power of 3. So we have y minus 7 to the power of 3 plus y to the power of 3 minus 7 is equal to 0. Now, I want this one that is in power of 3 to be together with minus 7 to the power of 3. So if I rearrange, I will have y to the power of 3, okay, minus 7 to the power of 3, then plus y minus 7 equals 0. Now recall that I want you to remember that I will write this somewhere so that I can clean this. So permit me to write it. Square root of 29 plus 1 over 2 raised to the power of x equals y. Alright, so I can now clean this because I need this space. So moving forward, we have that a to the power of 3 minus b to the power of 3 is equal to a minus b, alright, multiplied by a squared plus ab plus b squared. So it simply means that this becomes y minus 7 multiplied by y squared plus 7y plus 7 squared. Okay, that is it for this. Then plus y minus 7. So if you look at this, you can see that we have y minus 7, y minus 7. Recall that everything here is what is equal to 350. Yeah, but let's just leave it like that, or let's write before we forget. Sorry, is equal to 0. Okay, so we continue. We factorize y minus 7 out. We have y minus 7, open bracket. Then when this is divided by this will remain y squared plus 7y plus 7 squared. That is 49. Then plus 1, alright? Because when this is divided by itself is 1 is equal to 0. So there is no need for this since this is what? Positive. Alright, now we have y minus 7 bracket y squared plus 7y plus 50 is equal to 0. Now, we are almost at the end of this. Have you subscribed to the channel? If you have not, please try to do that. Alright, yeah, please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to turn on the notification bell. If not, this might be the last time you will see me. Okay, but if you subscribe, the algorithm will have no other choice than to notify you anytime I post a new video. So now we can say that y minus 7 equals 0. So we have y minus 7 is equal to 0, or this y squared plus 7y plus 50 is equal to 0. So from the left side, we can see that y is equal to 7. Now from here, let's check the discriminant. Because our x is what? Our x is real, not complex. Alright, so we have b squared minus 4ac. Our b is 7 minus 4 multiplied by a is 1 and c is 50. So by looking at this, you see that we have 49 minus what? 100, which is going to give us a negative answer. Yes. So if this gives us a negative answer, that means this is rejected because it's going to give us complex roots. So we move ahead with y is equal to 7. Now recall, I want us to recall something because that is what will give us the answer that we are actually looking for. Okay. So now recall that whatever I copied here, square root of 29 plus 1 divided by 2 to the power of x is equal to y. So now our y is 7. So we have square root of 29 plus 1 divided by 2 raised to the power of x is equal to 7. So at this point, the only way out is to introduce log to both sides. Introduce log to both sides. Okay. So if we do that, we will have if we do that, we are going to have log. So if we do that, we are going to have this will be equal to log square root of 29 plus 1 divided by 2 raised to the power of x is equal to log 7. Okay. Now remember that when you have something like this, log a raised to the power of b is equal to b log a. So we can write this as x log square root of 29 plus 1 divided by 2 is equal to log 7. Now, we are looking for the value of x. Let's divide both sides by this, okay? So we divide both sides by log square root of 29 plus 1 over 2 and both sides. So we divide this side with log square root of 29 plus 1 over 2 as well. So you can see that this will remove this. Now what we have left is x is equal to log 7 divided by log square root of 29 plus 1 divided by 2. Now remember that log a over log b is the same thing as log a base b, okay? Using change of base. So that simply means that we are going to have this as x is equal to log 7 base square root of 29 plus 1 over 2. And that is the value of our x. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish to see you in my next video. Bye.